unwanted, right? I talked to you about this, but even then, how do you finagle everything? I mean, you're going to have to make some moves to get KD over here. That's a sign and trade. There's just no salary space. Same kind of deal. Do you think with this little love fest that it's a choice between KD or AD?
No, I think they can do both,
Uh, uh,
actually.
right. So they got to package the salaries.
Mhm.
They got to
I
do that whole. They got the talent. KD is really more about Golden State just not losing out on him, though, right? Like,
Right.
can the Celtics offer enough that it makes sense for them to do a deal versus him walking away outright?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's entirely nailed it. I mean, you attach a pick and a high salaried player, and you get back Kevin Durant.
So is it is it
That's a
Horford?
rough life.
Is it Horford in that scenario?
I don't think so. I
You
think
think
it's
it's
Hayward.
Hayward?
Yeah, which would be kind of a tough thing, but do you really you're gonna really send out Horford? I mean, uh,
So AD
you
plays
could.
center, KD plays small forward, and Horford plays power forward.
I mean, well, let me back up. If I was Golden State, I would want Horford. But I think Boston would want
Right.
to give up Hayward, right? And I think Golden State, I think this season is showing them that they probably need to start moving on from the Draymond Green experience. I mean, Draymond is not Draymond anymore. He's not shooting at that pace. He's not defending at this pace he was. I mean, he is not the same guy as he was 3, 4 years ago. Horford is a better player right now than Draymond Green, despite the age difference. And if they can get a cut rate Draymond Green for 20 million a year for the next 60 million over 3 years, um, they can solidify themselves and
So you're thinking a dual
to leave
sign and
that
trade
cog. No, well, no,
or
I guess.
extension.
Well, right. I mean, I think right. I think Horford, I think would see that as valuable to him to stay in a great city, in a great situation. And for Golden State, it works beautifully. For Boston, obviously, the value of adding a shooter scorer like Kevin Durant next to Kyrie, next to Anthony Davis. I mean, this is crazy, crazy. 2K, override the computer type situation. There's no way you could probably get this deal to be pulled off in 2K, but that's the leverage the
What
situation.
what irony it would be for Kevin Durant to get traded for Horford. If you just think about how that July 4th weekend
Mhm.
went, and we were all sitting on the
God.
edge of our seats waiting, and we thought we were gonna have both of them, how
Yep.
ironic would it be if it was a swap out? I mean, on some level, yeah, I get that the Celtics would want to include Hayward, but on another level, I'm thinking, well, you get a little bit younger trading Horford away and going to Durant, but you definitely get a whole lot older trading away Kevin Durant. I mean, trading away Hayward and going with Kevin Durant. And I'm actually pretty optimistic that Hayward's going to end up being all right. Here's the other thing.
Me
The
too.
good news for the Celtics is both Hayward and Horford are both willing to accept whatever role is given to them. Neither one of them has an ego and will slot in amongst whatever lineup the Celtics decide to trot out there. That's the one good thing with both of those players. You're right. This is a 2K kind of crazy, wacky, wild stuff. You know how I feel though. I'm a no to KD. I actually I'm just
Really?
yeah. I mean I
Even
get it.
even if he wanted to come here and maybe he's learned from the experience and maybe learned something from it. I mean,
Oh, that's all just media speak. I mean, even if that happened,
it,
that's just
maybe.
media speak.
Right. We
And
don't know. We
and
don't
even
know. That's
then,
true.
here's the deal. Like we just become that. There's so much of me that really we
We
just become
become that.
whatever he's been, right? Like
Yeah.
whatever we were mad, whatever. Listen, I'm not going to step into that hypocrisy, right? And I do get it. We're not quite pulling it off the same way that they did, and with the money and everything else. And him leaving Golden State is totally different. To go, well, I guess it depends on how the finals plays out. But him leaving Golden State to go to Boston is totally different than him leaving OKC to go play
Yes.
for a rival in Golden State. Now, if Boston and Golden State go 7 and he switches teams, it's actually almost exactly the same thing. Not quite because different conferences, but similar. And then again, do I really? I just don't know if I can get behind that. Like, oh, Boston's on the rise. I'm out of Golden State. I'm over to Boston with my boy Kyrie. It just feels tainted. And you know who else isn't going to be around for any of that? Your boy Jason Tatum, who just won the skills challenge with a half court heave over All-Star weekend. That's going to be a bitter pill for me. He's gone.
But yeah,
Regard, dude, he's
well,
gone.
but
If they get
but that's a Davis,
if they get their
right?
man, he's gone. And there's just a part of me that is thinking that I'm going to regret that in several years. Not this
Okay.
isn't the Al Jefferson scenario, right? Where we
Yep.
were all in love with Al and then, oh, how could you give up Al? Blah, blah, blah. This is different. I mean, I really feel like Tatum is he's going to be the man, dude. He's going to be really, really, really good.
Yes, he is. But he's also 5 years younger than Anthony Davis, so that's a lot. But Anthony Davis is still 25, or 20, 26. I mean, he's really young too. It's not separating the two, right? Separating this KD stuff from the Brow stuff. Presumably, you're trading Tatum for a guy who's 5 years older than him, but is among the top 3, 4 players in the league, bar none, without question. You know that's a little different. To conflate the two and be like, well, you're trading Tatum, but you're getting back Durant, which is kind of more of a similarity to the Garnett deal, and that you're giving up the young player and getting the older, in their prime vet. That's the hard thing. If you're kind of putting the two together, you're saying, okay, that's where it's difficult. But if you separate them and say, look, you're getting the guy that's 5 years older, but is already a top 5 player. And it probably in your
No, I get why
wildest
you do it.
dreams,
I get why you do it.
though, you're
No, hold
hoping
on.
Tatum is one of those guys,
Yeah,
right? That's
I get why you do it for
top
Anthony
end. That's what you're hoping
Davis.
for.